from the Infrastructure Development Finance Corporation and from the Finance Corporation of India. Now, once you become an infrastructure sector, then instead of the 8 or 10-year loans, you can get 15-year loans. And you can even have telescopic payments. Now, based on your cash flow, obviously it takes 5-7 years for capital-intensive projects to stabilize. So you can even have your repayments made in the last 5 or 6 years of the 15-year period, so that you are very comfortable just paying interest in the first few years.
Thank you, Vivek. Question, sir.
Yeah.
I
am Saeed Sherwani. Today's this convention's theme being employment generation engine of inclusive growth. We are often criticized as being bad employers, especially those not in the 5-star space. We don't provide welfare for the employees, and we don't look after them. We are losing them to other industries. I would like to know what your views are on it, and what kind of welfare schemes could you suggest to this audience that could take care of your employees?
Volunteers. Who do you want to answer?
The 3-star space.
Okay, sure. Sure. You're right that typically in the 3-star space, it's I think due to budget constraints, there are sometimes fingers can be pointed to 3-star space that we don't look after employees well. But I think if you've been living in India for the last 3 years, you'll realize that the hoteliers and the hotel owners are not dictating terms to the employees anymore. It's very much the employees dictating terms to the hotel owners. And I think we're talking about welfare. I think 25 to 40% pay hikes a year are happening across the board. I think the employees are being well looked after. But yes, I think I think at least in professionally managed hotels, I think that's one of the differences typically that we find is when we come in, we institute certain things. We make sure that we are paying ESI, we're paying PF, and I think that's something that I've noticed a lot of I think unbranded, unprofessional operators try to save on these things, which are not only is it illegal, it's also unethical. But we've instituted certain things like medical insurance for people who are also under ESIP, covered under ESIC. And I think that's typically the best thing.
Do the contract staff also get the same benefits?
Well, we limit the contract staff because we find that typically has an issue. But yes, contract staff get all the benefits. Of course, legally they don't get gratuity, which I think is a big thing. Which is why we limit the amount of contract staff. We typically keep employees on our rolls. And we do offer medical insurance. But I have found, and we pushed PF in a lot of our hotels because we wanted employees to sort of save. We pushed medical insurance. After a few months, a lot of employees, came out and said, we want to opt out of PF and opt out of medical insurance. We know you're spending money on us. Can you give that to us in cash instead? So and then we realized that okay, we can offer that as a sort of a take. That's a suggestion that can be taken forward.
Homi, I must compliment you for your talent, that you have always done it beautifully. It was a very good question, apt question that you asked the young Turks, that having not gone through the grind except one in the family. It's a very important question in life. I think if you have not been through the grind, that cavity will always remain. You may be lucky that you've been put into that slot of finance, project and development. How do you intend filling up that cavity? Here is one person who is I was put right through the grind, right? And when Bicky came in, his young son came to Rajvilas, he said, I'm here to pick up the bags and everything. So that's the kind of the grind that he was given and put through. How many have not gone through it, and how do you intend tackling that question?
At least I can speak for myself. I've gone through my grind. First 3 years of chartered accountancy, bonded labor. Then I went 1 year to the construction site to take care of a stalled project. So I've gone through my grind, and projects is a continuous grind. I think it's taking care of projects, visiting them, getting it on time. I think it's a lot of effort.
My this thing is only to caution you, because you are young Turks. Tomorrow you don't know where your chef is cutting you fine and where he should not be. If your grassroots are not strong, that is where you could be going wrong. You may be controlling your finances and other things, but it will help you to curb down that.
Well, think, Mr. Kumar, I think in terms of asset management, you do have to have some basis of operations to be able to even, question ratios and operating statistics. In my case, the reason I'm able to fulfill a role as an asset manager is because I worked for a fund in Singapore and did a similar role for, a real estate fund that owned trading assets. And so I think it's not, going through the grind in terms of, actually, picking the bags
No,
up
I
and
think-
doing
I
all of
think
that. But I
I'll
think,
just-
if you'd been to hotel school, then you still, you still have to do that.
It's only there, of course, you go through the hotel school and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But today, Taj is my partner for last 22 years. If I can still teach them better, that means we'd like you to be in the same slot. Why not? So that you are respected better and you have a better situation to be in.
Actually, one second, I'm going to butt in because I think we're twisting the point a little bit. I'm not saying that these guys haven't worked. I've seen some of them work like Trojans. What I am saying is that none of them actually came up through ops. That was the distinction. But I think some I know have worked harder than most people who worked in ops. Any other questions? I think we've overshot a little on time. Bataiye sir.
Are you aware that universally there are two words which are not really liked by anyone? One is owner, the other one is boss.
One is?
There are two words which are not really liked by any employees. One is owner and the other one is boss. Are you aware of that fact? Here's my question. Second question is, have you found a key to management? Can you say, yes, I have found a key to management? Difficult to follow the question? Then that's a problem.
Keshav, go first.
Yes, I'm aware that employees don't like the word boss. And I'm not sure, the word owner is not really necessarily, doesn't necessarily have negative connotations, but that is a matter of opinion, and I'm sure. Anyways, we typically in the properties, we typically have a more collegial atmosphere given that we're a young hotel company. Most of our employees are young. My VP of operations is 31 years old. Most of my general managers are in early 30s. So we keep it young, so people are, we sort of all relate to each other. We eat together in the staff cafeteria, things like that. So hopefully those are things that keep a collegial atmosphere. To your second question, have I found the key to management? No, but I'm looking for it. And I'm sure, I'm sure no one can really say they found the key of management. That's what we sort of strive to do. But do I know how to manage hotels? Yes, that's something I think I can say yes to.
Right, and I do agree with you to the extent that I suppose the term owner is rather archaic, and I think it's more of the role you play than the title.
I think in the journey of life and in management, there is one important thing. I'm just sharing this view. I won't take more than a minute. The employees have to be in awe of you. They must love you. It's a sign that you are a right boss. I was having a word with XYZ this morning, and he said in the United States of America, Rama family is loved a lot by employees. He specifically mentioned this family, and that's because they treat them differently. I didn't have much time to talk to him. I'm going to catch hold of him sometime during the day, but that's what you guys learn. You have a long way off. You see, got probably another 40 to 45 years in the business, so I guess you must look into this. Let employees be in awe of you and love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Last, do we have time? Tell me, stop me whenever you say.
Excuse me.
Bolliye sir.
Very good morning to everybody else. Myself, DN Singh from Varanasi. जिस जमीन का खाक भी पारस है, मेरा वो शहर बनारस है. This I would like to explain something else. Somebody was talking about the circuit. So in UP, Agra, Vindhya and Ruhelkhand and both the circuit also is there. Why not we accept the challenge for Buddha circuit? Because of everybody wants to do traditional work. Nobody accept the challenge and do exceptionally some work in UP. So I would like to request you, because 27, 28, 29.
साहब जमीन भी दिलवा दीजिए.
Okay, you welcome, welcome UP. You come UP, I will give you. Okay, sure. Thank you very much, everybody else.
Sardar Sahab, last question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Paramjit Ghai from Bombay, the Unicontinental. My question to all the young Turks here is, there is a dichotomy, typically between Amitabh Bachchan and Abhishek Bachchan. He's there under the shadow of Amitabh Bachchan. And we've got here lots of Amitabh Bachchans of the hotel industry, your elder generation. How do you handle that pressure or the conflicts or the ego, or you got my point?
Well, I'm still number 3. I think you have to ask my father how he manages with his dad. So,
Good one.
so let him deal with that.
I think we've overshot on time. Thank you all for being such a great audience, and I would like to thank my panel members for being so sporting and sharing their views with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, a good big hand to the young Turks. I know the industry is in great hands and with a very, very bright future.